Is that some interesting new format data with Albaz? Yes, it is. Alright, to the 30% of you that have not smashed the ever-living crap out of that subscribe button, smash it so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. So Your Move, TCG here, Shuffle, and Cut have covered a tournament that they ran using the new ban list. Now, I assume over the next couple of days you are going to see an explosion of data reaching the surface level here. Now remember, unfortunately, this weekend is going to be a YCS with one of the most irrelevant formats that you've ever seen in your life. It'll be one weekend where you get to see a Shizu Kashtira, whatever tier elements explode on the scene. So, given next week, you will officially enter into that new format. But for now, you're going to get the chance to kind of sit back, relax, and see some of the very early stages of what's going on here. Now, this tournament was kind of interesting. Now, keep in mind that Photon Hypernova was in fact legal. They did play a new ban list, and we have a 50-50 split here. Kashtira takes half of the lead here. Now, I'm not upset about this at all, actually. Kashtira has been predicted, or, I mean, is definitely in the top deck percentile right now. There's not a single soul out there that's arguing that. We just haven't had, like, time for people to develop. Do we need to play the Book of Eclipses? Do we need to see, like, massive changes in order to beat these decks? And to top things off, our second challenger here, Albaz Control. A lot of people, I would say, are very naive to what this deck can do. A lot of people haven't got the chance to showcase the new power for this. Now, there are some hardcore Albaz fans out there. Don't get me wrong here. Alright, I speak from this as somebody that just analyzes and looks at data, saying that I haven't seen a lot of this just yet. That doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Alright, so as more data and things start to showcase here, we will definitely see a turnover conversion rate of how much of this will stick around. What card choices do you need to make as we kind of head on into the utopia of the new format? Now, the first list we're going to be looking at here was first place, Ruben K's deck list. Now, the first thing you're going to see here that I want to point out is the fact that we are playing good old Dimension Shifter. I've heard a lot of people talk about that they want to cut Dimension Shifter as we kind of head into a format where, you know, tier elements might not seem like the best deck. My rebuttal to that is your decision. I don't have enough data to say either way, but that is a point that a few people have been making. Your Kashtira lineup is fine. 2 Scareclaw, the 1 tier elements are all fine. All of your spells maximize. Now, keep in mind that we are playing Pot of Prosperity in this deck. I think that's going to be something that you're going to want to do for the ability to sift through the deck and get the ability to set things up. And then we are also maximizing on triple Book of Eclipse, something that a lot of people are looking at right now as the out to the mirror match. All right, like, it definitely gets you the chance to blow through your opponent, and you know, when your opponent doesn't really look like they're going to have much of a recovery play, you know, that's something big. Now, down here is the biggest thing I want to talk about, the Nightmare Corruptor Ibli factor. Now, if people are not prepared for Nightmare Ibli, if they do not have a Linger Rebo to make, you effectively will probably win the game. As long as you summon everything in defense mode and they can't run it over, you get a free blank turn for your opponent to do something. Well, Robbie, you're still locked into Exceed. You're going to do that long before you do Exceed stuff, alright? Especially with Bysteel starting to take a back seat now, that Nightmare Corruptor Ibli play is starting to look way more inviting at this point. I also love the thrustings into the Change of Heart for the mirror. That's it's definitely some hilariousness there. I also like the X purely going on here. But everything for this list looks pretty alright. I do not have any problems with this. You can definitely tell that a lot of the metagame shift is already starting to happen. And yeah, alright. So what we got for second place back here? Oh boy, it is another tier elements deck, or excuse me, another Kashtira deck. Oh man, sorry, still back here in tier meta. My little brain has not had time to adjust yet. Someday we'll get there. Now, first big thing you're probably going to look at here is only 2 Rise Heart, only 1 Scareclaw, and only 1 copy of the tier elements. Now, systematically, I think you could probably get away with 2 Rise Heart, maybe. But I feel like this list is geared more towards wanting to go second. You know, try to break the board and go, because you, or I mean, going first too, because I mean, you have the talents, you have the thrustings in here, and you also have the Nightmare Corruptor Iblis in here as well, so that you can do the shenanigans game one. I think in a format where people might be siding the Lingaribos instead of maining them, the Nightmare Corruptor Iblis probably can steal you some free games going first. I don't really have much of a doubt about that. I'll see we're main decking the one-up pointer of the Lotus there. You can technically get really cheesy with that by sniping a card from your opponent's hand and then, you know, a Rise Heart sucking it up so that it's just gone forever. Little things like that can make or break, you know, the format going forward here. Also, see, we are playing the Lance down there. Lance is going to give you the chance to get some defensive value against the menace known as Book of Eclipse, but to be perfectly honest with you, I don't see anything else, I guess, too crazy here. Maybe some of the things in the extra deck could be adjustable, but I think it's gonna come down to a lot of decision trading. And this list also has Shifter in the side deck instead of the main. But you got, for a very starting list, you got places to go here. Next up here is, the first thing I see is the Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. I'm scared. Mom, hold me, please. Tell me it's going to be okay. Tell me that the big scary Dragoon isn't back. Well, that is interesting. I didn't think that we would see Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, you know, crinkle its way back into the format is going to be the best way to say it. Now, this deck is using optimized ratios, I feel like, here for the Bystials. You know, you're playing the Saronir to get the dump to get Lubellion established, so you can get to the Brand of Regain, so you can start doing the things that you need to do. And then, of course, you're just playing the one Magna Hut so that you can get searchability. Yeah, this is how I feel like you want to start to play this deck. You still want to be able to take advantage of Lubellion, but you don't want to clunk it down so much that you dead draw some of these Bystials. You're like, oh boy, I love bricks, and it's just like, no. I also like the fact that this deck is playing the Crossout Designator here. Crossout is a actual like defense option to make sure that you can actually play the game. I think we've actually kind of reached that point now, but my question is I feel like you're just trying to stop the Ash, the Imperms too. I guess those two are like your blowout cards. If either of those resolves, I feel like this deck just goes into an absolute craptastic position. I also see we're citing Dimensional Barrier down here. Looks like Dimensional Barrier is going to be some cheesy stuff that people are going to try to do to detour Kashtira from actually getting the chance to do its thing. And I mean, yeah, Floodgates will do it. We're not going to lie about that, but my other biggest concern here at the end of the day is, will it be the game plan? Obviously, Evenly and Dimensional Barrier are good. Space Rock. It just looks like it was an unfortunate take of events here that led this deck to kind of not end up, you know, in top two. And then the last list we have here. So we rewind it back here to the Classic. I see that we have the Ra's Disciple down there for the Expulsion play in the side deck. Now, the last list didn't care too much about Expulsion. It just felt more like Fallen of Albaz good stuff here. Now, this build is just playing triple Saronir. We're not even worrying about our dear friend Magna Hut because now Saronir is the one that gets all the... I love the fact that all of the other good Bystials just now get kicked to the curb. Now Saronir is king. Saronir dumps the Lubellion, which gets full combo going here. We are playing the Triple Fusion deployment, the Triple Book of Eclipse to be able to play the game, and then we're triple siding the Super Polys. Hey, you know what? Can still board breaker your opponent and get the absolute keks against them. But overall, I do not see anything out of both of these lists. I mean, they feel very, very standard. It is nice to see like the upgrades, you know, the Blazing Cartesia amounts of choices here, you know, how many Grand Gundala Dragons you're trying to play, you know, the 2 versus 1, the inclusion of Dragoon in one list versus, you know, Dragoonless, and then, you know, the choices of Floodgates here to decide if, you know, you can play through these certain cards. A lot of things to really figure out here, and I think that we're kind of in a position to see how these are going to do. So, what do you guys think? Please, leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think. I look forward to reading some interesting comments, and I will see your beautiful faces back here later today, guys. Peace out. Patrons! Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.